Hello everybody and welcome to Sport Conversations. I'm Solanima,
And my name is Zathos.
and it's now, date that's going up will be December 1st.
Yep, which means that we have to look forward to Happy New Year's. Because
Yep.
there's nothing in between December 1st and January. Absolutely nothing happens.
Oh, except for
between
maybe
that time.
Christmas.
Nope, that doesn't happen.
Don't be a Grinch.
No, fuck you. I always get like super sad and super angry around, like, and depressed around the holiday season. I don't like it.
Sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, it is. But my point is,
So,
but here's something to actually have relatively good news about. So for those of you that don't know about this, I swear to God, I may have said this. I don't remember if I said this during a podcast or if I said this just kind of like during one of our recordings, or maybe I just said it during casual conversation between Corey and the rest of the group. But so my mom, she has hereditary migraines, and she had these migraines so badly, like ever since she turned like 40, 42, 41, and my mom is currently 57. Okay. Okay, and so.
so at least like 15 years of this.
Yeah, 15, 16 years, give or take, of these really terrible migraines. These are migraines that were, like, disabling, like, to the point where, like, she couldn't move, or, like, she would just get nauseous, she would vomit. She would take this whole cocktail of medication.
Yeah. I had a friend who used to go blind during migraines.
Yeah, those are the good ones.
Yeah.
But
He used to do vlogs, and he actually would, one of his vlogs he explained his migraines, and actually like video effects to show what it looks like in different stages as it gets closer to blindness. That was a cool one.
That must have been neat. Anyways,
He's really good with video editing.
So recently, relatively recently, I think it was about a year and a half ago, maybe two, my mom ended up having a stroke. I think I told you about this.
You mentioned that to me. I don't know if you mentioned it on the podcast, but...
Yeah, so she ended up having a stroke, and so she goes to the hospital. She has brain surgery. They take care of her brain bleeding and whatnot, and then like, she's okay. She comes back. She comes fully healed. And then we realized something fairly recently, is that ever since my mom had the stroke and the doctors went in there and they cleaned up her brain and the blood and made sure that everything was good, she no longer had those migraines.
That's really
Like,
nice.
They're gone. And I was just like, that's super great, because for the longest time, like, I only knew my mom as like you gotta be careful around her when she has a migraine, but now I don't have to do that anymore. I'm just like, yay, mom's fixed.
Yeah.
And then,
It's like someone I knew. I heard they got like hit by a baseball in the teeth, but then they didn't have to get braces because the baseball knocked their teeth straight. I'm just like, that's, you think that would be really bad for your teeth, but
it's just the right amount of pressure.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
still that joke. So what's red and bad for your teeth? A brick.
A brick. I think it's just because brick is just such a funny word to say. But
Yeah,
anyways,
word choice is everything in comedy.
So my
Word
mom
choice and
also,
timing.
So my mom also recently had surgery done on her neck, surgery done on her back, as well as she is going to end up getting surgery on her on her legs. So she's kind of been in and out of hospitals quite a bit, and then she recently had a pretty serious infection. She had this infection on her face, and then she was given antibiotics, which dealt with the infection. But because she had no good bacteria in her stomach, she ended up getting this infection called C. diff, which only happens if you have no good bacteria in your stomach to fight it. So she ends up getting C. diff, and it is not a good thing to have. Like, for those of you that are listening to this, go ahead and go Google that stuff. It just, like, that's what me ma had.
Yeah.
But she's better now. And she recently finally got her neck brace off from her neck surgery, and super great. She's happy. She's loving life. And so that's some good news. That's some really great news. My mom's doing so much better than what it is that I've come to associate her with over the past decade.
Yeah, 'cause I know especially like the last year, she's been going through some rough stuff, but it
Yeah.
sounds like she's finally coming out of it, so that's really good to hear.
Yeah, that's super great, fantastic, and I love it. Now, that being said, let's talk about how shit Batman v Superman was.
All right, hold on a second. We'll get to that, but I first want to cover...
Go ahead.
I want to cover more recent events first, like just a couple of things that happened recently, things I'm excited for. First off, and we're going to have to be...
But I do have one thing to interject, though. Can I share something really funny?
What?
You might get a thumbs down on your video for this, but I just
Well, no one
want
watches,
to
no
make
one listens anyway, so.
I just want to make sure our audience is aware of this. Is that there was a Black Lives Matter protest on a freeway, and they stopped traffic. I think it was in like New York or somewhere around there. You know, a place that's pretty heavily demographic, and most likely everybody there voted for Hillary.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and just piss off, you know, the people who were on your side.
Yeah, that never made sense to me. If you're gonna protest, an election, don't piss off the people that voted the same way that you did.
Yeah. Anyways,
It makes no sense. But go on.
So they stopped. So they walked out onto the freeway, and they were trying to stop cars, you know, in order to kind of protest and whatnot. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, they succeeded in doing that. They stopped a lot of cars, and whatnot. And then eventually, one person, they really had to get to work, so they ended up running over somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't exactly support that action of running someone over, but I also don't support the action of standing in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
So they had it coming.
Yeah. My hope is that they didn't die, but that that they learned a lesson.
I don't think they died. But anyways, so they get ran over, and a bunch of the supporters are grabbing them and dragging them off of the road and bringing them over. And they're like, call 911. And it's like the ambulance is on its way. And then they end up hearing it's like the ambulance can't get to us. Why? Because we stopped traffic.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh god, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Just the irony of it.
Yeah.
I know you're a huge fan of irony, which is why you found the end of Angel Beats funny instead of sad.
Well,
Because it's like so ironic.
I'm a huge. I found the ending of Angel Beats not ironic but anticlimactic. I'm a huge fan of tragedy. I love tragedy.
Yeah, which
like,
apparently,
especially when it's done right.
Yeah, apparently the reason it's anticlimactic is because they expected to have more episodes, but something happened. Either they got cut off and they had to we got 2 episodes to finish the entire story arc that we've been building up.
Yeah, which really sucks.
Or maybe something happened to the writer. Maybe the writer died or something. No, I think I'm thinking of Casino Stigma where that happened.
Yeah, Casino Stigma's writer died, which kind of sucked. Which, speaking of which, I actually started watching another anime which is kind of slice of life, but it's got an interesting premise.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're in Japan. Because I'm watching it in English because that's the one that I found. And the story is this, Corey. So here's the premise. It's a family, and it's a family of about 10 people. Okay, mom, dad, and 8 siblings, or 8 children. Sorry, mom, dad, 8 children. Okay, and this is from the point of view of like the relatively middle child.
Somewhere in the middle, 'cause there's a lot of middle children.
Yeah, somewhere there, and like all the eyes of the country is on this family because this family is the royal family, but they live like normal people and they go to normal school, but dad just happens, like his day job is that he rules a country.
That's interesting.
And he has like a crown and everything, and I don't really know what this country is because
I guess like a country where they're much more equal about their wealth. Like the person who rules the country has a lot of power but not a lot of wealth.
I don't know about this because each child of the royal family has a special power that makes them quote unquote unique and whatnot. Like one of the kids, like he's really rowdy and he has a lot of energy, and his superpower is that he has like Hulk strength.
Yeah.
You know, like he's really strong. And another one is that they can make things grow or shrink. As long as it's made of a natural life force, things like or, I don't think it's growth. I think it's more like age, where like she goes up to a tree, touches it, and then tells it, and then it just kind of like grows because trees get really big over time.
Yeah.
And then
or turns into a sapling.
Or she can make it turn into a sapling. But one of them is actually one of my favorites, where she has the ability to materialize anything that she's thinking of. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything that she can think of, she can materialize it in front of her. Okay. The problem, the drawback is that whatever the value is of that of whatever it is that she creates, it comes out of her savings account. So because of this, she actually has this really big savings account, and she does like stocks and things like that, and she has this huge portfolio and whatnot, and when someone asked her like how much money do you have, she gives them the number, and apparently the number is this girl who is in high school, it's like a sophomore in high school, has more money to her name than like a country than the country that she is currently residing in.
Yeah.
And I'm
But
just
she needs that to fuel her ability.
I'm just like, "Rat." It's interesting. I'm like, it's an interesting premise. It's not absolute. It's not totally shit, but
Yeah, it's like I remember.
Give me a few episodes.
Yeah, I remember. I've had that happen a couple times where a really interesting premise turns into just an okay anime.
Yeah.
Like for you that would be like Girls in Panzer, which I thought was all right, not nearly as good as not nearly as good as it looks like it would be.
For me, it wasn't an interesting premise. It was an amazing premise.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like young girls have piloting fully functioning tanks. I'm just like, okay, why are they having to do this? It's like, well, tanks are things used for war. So it's like, oh my god, child soldiers and whatnot. And I just had this.
You hyped up so much in your mind.
I was so excited. I was just like, oh, is this going to be a series talking about child soldiers and how and like how it is that they deal with war, or is it going to explain how like there are so few adult soldiers left because this has been a long war, like it's been going on for centuries and they're just out of adults. For this, so they're using child soldiers and like how are they going to skew this, and like are their mentors going to be other children who have just somehow managed to live, or is it going to be like some like veteran adult? And it was just all in my mind. I was like, this is going to be great, and I go to watch an episode and they're just going around town blowing up shops and crowds are cheering in high school. I'm like, I don't think I've ever been so disappointed in all of my life.
Yeah. Because I didn't have hyped up in my mind to nearly that level. I'm just like, oh, that's just like a cool idea, and just being like, no, tankery is like a sport, and it's just like another cute girl anime, cute girls driving tanks.
Also,
like,
okay, it was taking place in Russia. That was also my thing because
that one trailer where they were like, also
it was like a little clip, and all the girls are singing Russian, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool, and they was just nope, and I was like,
yeah. I mean, one of the teams is Russian, and they actually go to like either Russia or some kind of snow-covered area. I don't know if it's actually, I can't remember, I saw it a long time ago. So for me, I didn't hype it up nearly as much as you did, so I watched it like, it's not what I thought it would be, but it was alright. It wasn't awful.
But Corey, here's my question. Would you rather watch that, what you ended up seeing, or would you rather watch the thing that I thought it was going to be?
Of course I'd rather watch what you thought it was going to be. I'm just saying
that would have been so amazing.
Yeah, I'm just saying it was disappointing, but it's because I didn't have it built up as much as you did, I was still able to enjoy it to a degree.
I don't know. I feel like I need to pitch this to A1 Studios or Studio Shaft or something, and just be like, please.
Yeah, but I was going to refer to one that you actually haven't seen, which was I cannot remember the name of the series, but it's basically about this girl who loses all her memories of her friends. I think it's called Ichikan Friends, or translated to 1 week friends.
I think you told me about it.
Yeah, because at the start of each week, she basically loses all her memories of her friends. So when I first heard it, I thought it was actually like, oh, she has like a 1 week memory. Like, she loses all her memories of the week, but no, it ended up being like she only loses memories of her friends. Like she still remembers everything else that happens, but any kind of interaction she has with friends or any new friends she makes, she loses them.
That'd be something that would be very, very difficult for me to do. Like to watch, just because like the human brain doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, and some things kind of explained weird in a strange way, but I don't know. My brain can very easily just go with things, even if it makes no sense. I'm like, okay, that's just how it works in this world, so let's just go with it.
My brain used to be able to do that, but then like I just kind of I had to stop doing that.
Yeah, so it was alright. It was an alright anime. It wasn't particularly amazing, but it was only half a season, so it didn't take long to finish.
It reminds me of when Josh was telling me about like space battleship Yamato, and he was just like,
oh yeah,
like you're talking about the scene where like the nuclear reactor's going critical, and it's like the super dramatic scene between these two people who are rivals and all this stuff, and then like you think that the other person is dead, and then like he comes out of water from like a small nearby pool of water, and he's just like, hey, water's pretty good at stopping radiation, and I'm like, that is beautiful. I love it, and I know that's probably not how it happened. Like Josh just like aggressively bastardized it.
Yeah,
but
I will say as much as I don't like it, I don't enjoy watching a serious anime with Josh, because he kind of doesn't matter how serious the anime is, he'll always give his commentary.
Yeah.
And like non-serious, like for fun anime, it's really fun to hear his commentary. like
Konosuba.
No, I was specifically referring to, I cannot remember the name of the series, but the one where there's a point where there's like a boat of zombies fighting a boat of like pirate skeletons, and it wasn't in the main plot.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh god.
It's like his comment on that was hilarious, but I can't remember what it was called.
God, I remember that. I remember it so well.
Josh like kind of pauses, like, this just occurred to me. We're watching
Shinkeke no Bahamut.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, and he's like Taylor, and I was like, yes, and he's like, I want you to think for a moment. I was like, okay, it's like this is a ship full of zombies versus a ship full of fishmen fighting each other on the middle of the sea, and that's not the main point of the episode.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
That was a pretty okay series. We never finished it because like it just kind of fell off towards the end.
Yeah. It had a promising start, I think, but it was...
Yeah, it was a relatively interesting start. But anyways, so...
Right, so I was going to talk about...
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Just a couple of things that happened over the last month, because a lot of things happened over November.
Yeah.
Because last time we talked was November 1st, and then since then lots of stuff has happened.
I ate 2 birds.
I meant a bit more grander scale than that. I ate 3 birds.
I ate 2 birds with mashed potatoes.
Okay, so... No, seriously. All right, the first thing happened, the election, and
okay.
I'd be worried about this if we didn't have such a small listening base. But
if we had a huge listening base, I'd still fucking say it, personally.
Yeah.
But like I personally am, I'm not enthralled that Trump won. I'm just super happy that Hillary lost.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Which I do feel, which because of that I do feel bad that that's the way that I feel. I don't feel great that this person got, you know, that my candidate won. I just feel great that that person lost. I feel like I'm just functioning off of spite.
Yeah, it's like what Chris Reagan said, where he said like I didn't like Trump, I didn't like Hillary. I accepted political defeat months ago, so I'm okay with it now.
But like I think the main reason why it is that I'm super happy that Trump won is because
we're not gonna go to war with Russia.
Well, yeah, we're not gonna go to war with Russia, and maybe a few interesting things are gonna happen in the future. The Prime Minister of Japan is actually looking pretty optimistic towards working with Trump, which I think that's pretty cool.
I've heard a lot of some foreign nations are excited to work with Trump. Others are saying, "Oh no, that's the end of the world." Yeah. And I'm just saying, give the guy a few months in office and see what happens. If things like just collapse around him, then sure, you yell at him. But if he ends up doing a part of me just wants to see Trump be like the best president in like 50 years, just to say, look, see what you guys are worried about. Yeah,
and it's absolutely, something like that. And before anyone tries to jump on this, where it's just like, oh, you didn't support Hillary, you're sexist, you're misogynistic. No, I'm not any of that. First of all, like, let me go ahead and hit you with the Alucard defense. My boss is a woman. I was a chick in the 40s. I hate everyone equally, and there isn't a single person alive that can discern my sexual preference.
Yeah.
So.
No, like
check your privilege.
Yeah, to me, I just felt like Hillary was a really poor example of like what women can do.
And I absolutely would have loved to have seen Trump versus Bernie. I feel like that would have been a much more interesting election. Like I would have been okay with either outcome. Like, granted, I don't really like Bernie being a socialist, but
yeah, that's how I felt. I wasn't a fan of Bernie's policies, but he seemed like the only candidate that had integrity, and that he really cared for the country. And even if it felt like he's the kind of person where if he tried his way, like his ideas, and they just didn't work, he'd be like, okay, let's back off and try something that will work. Like he seemed like the most decent person running.
I don't know how I felt about him though when he got pushed off stage by Black Lives Matter. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I saw that. That made me mad. Yeah, I wasn't happy.
Yeah, I was like, are you serious? How self-entitled are you? That being said, for those of you who don't know, Corey and I are very anti-SJW. I'll call them SJC because I'm a fan of Bene, social justice cultists, or social justice cunts, whichever one is more apt for the time. I don't like them. I really don't.
Yeah.
I feel as though they are completely detached from reality, and they also have never worked a decent day in their life.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, because if they had, they'd understand how the world worked, but they seem to be stuck in this little fairy tale land of their own. So, yeah. Anyways, my point is, Trump's president, and I remember when I was amazed by it, I was just like, he won?
Yeah, I thought for sure that I was kind of on the fence on it. Like, I saw everything the news was saying Hillary was going to win, like, no chance, Trump didn't have a chance, but at the same time, you didn't see, like, any Hillary signs around the country. They're all, like, Trump signs.
Yeah, I was bending down, grabbing my ankles, and just ready for the Hillary shaft, and then, like, I get a nice gentle pat on the back saying it's okay, you can pull up your pants from Donald Trump. I'm just like, oh, well then.
That's a colorful way of putting it, but from like what I was seeing on from things I was seeing like on social media and
Yeah.
you know, like the signs and all that stuff, I was thinking to myself that especially because the media is so clearly liberal, with
Yeah, very,
the
very.
exception of like Fox News being the only conservative news channel there is,
Yeah.
and just having so many things stacked in Hillary's favor. I thought to myself that Hillary's probably going to win, but it's going to be a lot closer than anyone thinks. And then, lo and behold, Trump won. And then there's all these people arguing over like, oh, but Hillary won the popular vote. And it's like, yeah, but
Yeah.
like I remember seeing one person saying, look, Hillary won the popular vote by about 2 million votes. And I'm like, yeah, that's like half the population of Los Angeles alone.
Yeah. And
If we went off a popular vote, the big population centers like California and New York would decide the election every year.
Yep, and which is absolutely ridiculous because most of the time, large populated areas of those areas tend to be Democrat.
Yeah.
It's people who live out and aren't within 5 feet of another person
Or a Starbucks.
or Starbucks. You know, like they tend to see the world a little bit differently and can see things from a very different perspective. You know,
Yeah.
I don't understand some people sometimes, and for me, someone who went from living in Washington, which is a very Democratic state, to now living in Utah, which is a very Republican state, I can safely say that, yeah, I kind of like it in Utah a little bit better in terms of the political atmosphere. In terms of the weather,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Although we always lived in an area close to a military base, which meant that we were in a conservative area of a very liberal state.
Yeah, which is fine, but for me, I lived right there,
Yeah.
not in the heart, but a little bit off to the side of the San Juans. And
So supposedly Eastern Washington is also very conservative. It's just Western Washington, but Western Washington is that's where all the
tourism and everything is.
that's where all the counties and all the population is gathered in Western Washington. So the whole state ends up being liberal.
Yeah, which is just
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a system that took the Electoral College and said instead of like all 11 of Washington's electoral votes go to one candidate, say like go off percentages. Like if a state has 10 electoral votes and one person gets 40%, one person gets 60%, 4 goes to one, 6 goes to the other.
yeah. Even then, I feel like we just have another recreation of the popular vote, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. I can't. I mean.
Yeah, I'm not a political scientist.
Yeah, I don't know. Like my dad took political science in college. He could probably tell me something more about it, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
just know that I haven't researched this too much, but as far as I can tell, the Electoral College was put in place by the Founding Fathers, and it was put there for a reason.
and for those of you who have seen like Adam Ruins Everything, that's a good show. I like
Yeah.
that show. He does make points which I don't fully agree with sometimes.
Yeah.
Where like he'll take an episode, like for instance he did an episode where he was talking about immigration and then he brought up the whole building a wall thing.
Yeah.
And he was like he's like here's the reason why the wall's a bad idea, and he kind of explained you just like it would cost us this much money and then the upkeep would be this much and all this stuff and it'd be a huge debt thing, and I would just be like, that's okay, cool. But like he kind of stuck on the wall for a little bit. I'm just like, okay, I can see where you're leaning towards here, which is
it was a topical issue, so.
which is fine. I just be like, all right, that's fine. And then he moved on, and then he ended up talking about things like deportation, but the one thing I took away from that entire episode was that our immigration courts suck.
Yeah, they really do.
Like they are absolutely shit. And like well, granted, I only have this from one perspective, which is from the Adam Ruins Everything show. I do plan to look into this better. But
And his information tends to be pretty accurate, and there's also like citations every time he says a fact or a statistic.
and it's fact checked, which means that it's 1,000 times better than Anita Sarkeesian.
Yeah. How about you actually play the games that they're criticizing? The whole thing on I'll never forget the whole thing that she said about I think it was Hitman, basically saying like the game rewards you for killing like these strippers, and when the seeing the strippers is optional only if you go like a certain path through the building. And B, killing them actually makes you lose points because you're not supposed to kill civilians when you're doing your missions.
Yeah, and it's like you get to play with her body. Look, you're being rewarded for killing her. I'm just like, no, you're not. First of all, anyone who derives pleasure from playing with a ragdoll in a video game is either A, playing Gary's mod,
which is completely understandable.
Which Gary's mod is just fun.
Yeah.
like I remember the first time I booted up Gary's mod. This is back with like Gary's mod 8. Like I don't know what version of Gary's mod we're in right now, but it was like Gary's mod 8, and like I booted up and like I grabbed like a ragdoll of like I think it was like Alex from Half-Life 2. I just grabbed her, I just threw her. Yeah. I just watched a ragdoll. I was just like, yay.
Yeah. Or like when
then I grabbed like a bunch of Combine soldiers and put them in a dumpster.
Yeah.
Set the dumpster's weight to be like just enough to keep it on the ground.
Yeah.
And then I put a bunch of barrels underneath it, blew it up, and then like just a bunch of confetti of ragdoll people. And I'm like, ah. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, I liked when they had like a kind of like their own version of Steam Workshop. Like they had a place you could download other people's creations. Mm-hmm. And we were just going through a bunch of those. Like there's a pistol that played the
with Josh.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was Josh. I couldn't remember for sure, but like you fire the pistol and it plays that song with that what you say.
and then we have like the defective rocket launcher.
That was my favorite one. Yeah.
It was great because we weren't ready for it. We were just like, hey, defective rocket launcher. It's like, do not fire. It's like, why? What does it do? And it's like clicks it and we just hear tunk, and we just see the rocket fall out with no thrust. We're like, oh. We fall off.
Yeah, it blows away your feet and kills you. What's funny is that we actually went to no clip mode, went to the air, actually like targets your feet, doesn't just drop.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, good times. I remember getting like an Iron Man mod and flying around Peach's castle and like, what am I doing? What is this game?
It was great. And then we played Tabletop Simulator, which is also great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
okay, so that was
yeah, so that was the election, and then Thanksgiving happened, which was you know what I'm getting tired of. Like, first of all, like we've already established I don't like PC culture, but I'm getting tired of people just like I saw this thing where it was like we asked Native Americans what they think of when they hear Christopher Columbus, and they say like all these like really bad things about him. It's just like so he's a murderer, he's a genocidist, he's blah 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 blah, and all these terrible things. I'm just like, yeah.
This is the guy that found America. I'm fairly certain that he wasn't.
Cuba. He found Cuba first, and then he found America. But
yeah, it's like just because he discovered the place means he's responsible for everyone that came after him.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Like granted, Christopher Columbus did show up, and he ended up getting things like spices, as well as bringing back some slaves. That's just what happened during the time. Yeah. Slavery was a big thing. People did slaves because manual labor was big at the time.
Yeah, it's cool that's not a thing anymore, but.
Yeah, for fuck's sake, like.
But it was perfectly normal for many thousands of years of human history.
Yeah, granted, it doesn't make it okay.
Doesn't make it okay. No, that's a fact of history. We need to get over it and realize, okay, it's a good thing that we don't do that now. Let's let's stop talk about like reparations for things that happened to like our great grandfathers.
I hate that shit. It's just like black people saying we demand reparations. It's like, okay, well then white people need reparations from black people because black people took white slaves in Africa. You do understand that if we go down this rabbit hole, it is not a rabbit hole. It is an ant farm.
Yeah, and also I was seeing a graphic that was like
it's terrible.
What was it? It was like it was talking about equal opportunity, and it showed like a bunch of racers at the starting line versus a bunch of racers at the end, saying like it's like equality of opportunity, not equality of outcomes.
Yeah, which is very important. But anyways, like
it's like we're not supposed to like balance the scale so that everybody wins. This is what happens when you give everybody participation trophies when they're kids.
Yeah. I hated getting those. I absolutely hated those. Like if you were gonna give someone don't give someone a participation trophy, give them like a fucking Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, it's like, hey, nice try. Here's something to keep happy on the way home. That's all a kid needs. It doesn't make them feel like, oh, I did something amazing by playing the game like I was supposed to.
Don't ever like straight up. If I was like a coach and it's like, are you gonna give the other kids a participation trophy? I was like, no, I got a bag of Jolly Ranchers. They can grab a handful.
Yeah, it's like, do you ever see that song that when...
I don't even care. It's like, oh, but my child is diabetic. It's just like, all right, here, I'm gonna give you $2. Go get him some celery. I don't fucking care. Like,
it's like, did you ever see that song that made rounds around Facebook and maybe YouTube? I can't remember exactly. It was just called Gotta Love Millennials.
I just got diabetics and people who are allergic to gluten confused.
It's easy to confuse them. Honestly.
Anyways, so God something about millennials. God hates millennials. Something about that.
No, gotta love millennials.
Oh, got to love millennials. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a song.
Yeah.
It's a song that made rounds around Facebook, and just this guy singing about like millennials and all the silly things, rather than like think they're gonna make a world difference from their from their bedroom in their parents' house.
It reminds me of
I'll show it to you after this. It's actually pretty funny.
It reminds me of Chris Reagan's like comfy PC and the and there ain't no rest for the triggered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. I hate it, and
I'm just gonna show up in the recording.
I'm beginning to really hate the term marginalized, to the point where when my dad's like, "Can you get the margarine for like the butter?" I kind of like I kind of twitch a little bit. I'm just like, I think I'm triggered.
Yeah. We really need to come with a new word for that, because there's a big difference between like PTSD triggered and our modern definition of triggered.
Yeah, it's called being upset.
Because I actually saw something. It was actually kind of funny.
Or offended.
The other day I was in the car with my brother. We had just gone out to get some fries from McDonald's because we were bored. It was like 11 at night, and we're like, let's just do this.
That's a tradition.
So on the way back, on the way there we were talking about Final Fantasy 15, which is another thing that I wanted to mention. I think it just came out either today or yesterday or pretty recently.
Out?
Yeah, it like just came out.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I need to go. Well, I'm gonna wait a little bit and then I'm gonna go play it. Like I want to see how it goes, because the amount of hype behind 15 is very reminiscent to the amount of hype behind 13, and
Yeah.
13 didn't quite deliver. I am still on the final area for 13, but as much as I'd like to continue playing it, I can't, because someone in this conversation broke my 360.
I'm sorry about that. And that wasn't actually my fault. That was I just closed the Xbox out of reflex, not realizing that I forgot the fact that you have to have a disc in your 360 or else the disc drive gets jammed, and then it got jammed permanently. So one time I closed it.
So this sounds like it is absolutely your fault. I told you not to do it, and you did it. Anyways, my point is 15. Go on.
Yeah, so we were talking, like, we just cut the fries, and we were on the way back talking about Final Fantasy 15.
Did you guys get just fries, no burger?
It is different for all of us. Like I got a burger as well. Okay. He and his girlfriend, I think, just got fries, and actually I think they got a chicken sandwich too. But anyways, not important.
I was just wondering. I was just like, that's gotta be the worst feeling, going to McDonald's and getting just fries.
Sometimes they do that. They'll just get fries and have like a drink at home or something.
Oh god, I couldn't do that. I really couldn't.
McDonald's fries are good. But anyway.
I know they're good, but anyways, continue. Go ahead.
So I brought up, like we were talking about, and I brought up the whole thing of like that one post that complained about how it's an all-male cast.
Oh yeah, and I remember that.
I've never seen my brother. This is why the way that my brother reacted was how I'd describe the modern definition of triggered. It was actually hilarious. He's like, I know, right? And he just goes on this whole rant about how, if you take all the protagonists from all the Final Fantasy games put together, there are more females than males by a pretty significant margin, and how Final Fantasy X2 and 13.2 had no male playable characters, and suddenly this problem. It's like, oh, it's all male cast for the first time in Final Fantasy history, and it's like, oh, misogynists. It's like, no, they wanted to go for a different character dynamic, a group of 4 guys who, I think I said this before. I don't know if it was in the podcast, but there's just factually a different experience when you have all of one gender. A group of 4 girls will act differently. If one of those girls replaces the guy, the dynamic changes completely. And same with a group of guys. There's things that they'll do that they wouldn't do if there's a girl in their group. Not because they're like, oh, we gotta be careful and think about like what she'll react to, just because the fact there's a girl in this group changes everything.
Yeah, it completely changes the dynamic of how things can be done. Not to mention, especially like if it were to be like 4 guys and the roles were as such. It's like one guy's a tank, one guy's DPS, one guy is healer, and one guy is mage, right? Yeah. Replace any of those with the girl, all of a sudden, yes, their roles are the same, but not the interactions between them. Yeah. That's gonna change, obviously.
Yeah, it's just like all these things. It's like, oh, we need more female representation. And like, sure, that's fine. Just don't step on characters. Like everyone's saying that Link should be a girl in the new game. It's like, it's like first off they made.
I heard that, and I was just like, ugh.
It's like first off they made Linkle in Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, which Linkle's such a silly name.
Yeah, she's kind of a silly character. She wields twin hand crossbows, and then all I know about her story and her character is that. She like gets a map, or like she finds out that something's going on. She wants to she wants to like join up and be like a hero and all that stuff. and she ends up taking a left when she's supposed to take a right. She goes the opposite direction.
That's it.
I can't remember. There's more to it than that, but just from what I remember just seeing this cutscene of her like heading out and like going out. She's going on an adventure and all this stuff, and then she gets like a signpost, and it says like go this way, and she runs that way, and then it like reveals that she went the wrong way.
Neat.
I'm sure there's more to her than that.
But like if you want female representation in games, go play Bayonetta. Bayonetta's great. I love Bayonetta.
It's funny how
she's a beautifully strong female protagonist. Absolutely. Yeah. Like if you take a look at any male character in that game, they don't even stack up to Bayonetta. Yeah.
It's like it's funny how
she steals the show.
It's funny how that's like held up as a primary example of like sexism in games, when really it's like, no, that's not sexist. That's her being confident in her sexuality.
Yeah,
she knows what she has and she flaunts it. That's her personality.
It's not even her sexuality. It's just like she's being confident in her body.
Yeah,
like she's confident in her body. She's confident in her abilities. I mean, for fuck's sake, she can essentially stop time.
Yeah.
How can you not be confident once you know that you can do that?
Yeah, people say, oh, it's just so sexist, but she's like one of the strongest characters, if not the strongest character, like a female character in all video games.
Yeah, arguably. It's arguably kind of debatable because there's a lot of like once you get to a certain level in an RPG, you're pretty much just God.
Yeah.
But like if you want strong female representation, play through Dark Souls as a woman.
Yeah.
First of all, it's the exact same experience as playing through it as a man. Boom, equality.
Yeah.
Second of all, regardless of whether or not you use a female body type or a male body type, it doesn't change your stats, it doesn't change the story, it doesn't change anything. You're probably gonna die just as much as if you're playing a male character. And finally, that is fucking inspiring, no matter what gender you are. If you're a man or if you're a woman, or if you identify as a fucking tadpole,
or an attack helicopter.
Being able to get through Dark Souls the first time you play it is an absolutely inspiring experience. I cannot stress that enough, how you literally dragged yourself through hell and you get to the end and you're like, I'm done. And then your friend goes, do you want to do it again? And then I'm like, yes.
For me, I'm like, ask me again next month.
Yeah, and Corey's like, ask me again, never.
No, I'll replay games. So I've got this huge, like, ridiculous backlog of games, and I need to get to all these other games. And I keep replaying old games, then I'm never going to get to them. Yeah. Plus, I like to have a bit of a gap between each playthrough, because otherwise I just get burned out on the game.
Don't think of it as replaying an old game. Think of it as replaying a good game.
Yeah, that's possible too, but even when I was a kid, I never replayed a game immediately after finishing it.
Yeah, I never did that with long RPGs, things like Chrono Trigger and the Tales of series and Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
You can't jump back in there.
No.
You can't go from after I finished level grinding and I'm level 100 and I have the ultimate weapons and I'm the strongest you could ever possibly be to level 1.
Yeah. So I can't backstep.
But like in the other ones, like level 5, I think it is. Like I think most Final Fantasies you start off at level 5, give or take. But like yeah, and then like Tales of, you don't have the backstep thing. Like when something like that becomes a key mechanic of you playing, you're just like backstep. You're like, I can't.
Yeah, it's like in Tales of Vesperia, where I spent hours grinding for like Yuri's best weapon. The one that basically, if he has it equipped or if he has that weapon skill equipped, which takes like 32 skill points, by the way, out of his like 120 I had.
Yeah, he could like never be interrupted.
Yeah, it basically made him, aside from like mystic and like bursts of mystic arts, he couldn't be flinched by any attack. So I go back to playing a new game. It's like I go to attack just like I normally do, and they hit me. And it's like, oh yeah, I flinch. Forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, and you're just like,
it took me a while to adjust to that.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyways, but originally what we were going to talk about here is that we were going to talk about video game movies. And specifically,
I wasn't done though.
Oh damn it.
I know you want to jump to that, but I wanted to catch up to what we're doing now. So we talked about the election. We talked about Final Fantasy 15 just came out. Like at least for us, it'll been out for a few days by the time this goes up.
Yeah.
Also, I think last Friday, Pokemon came out. I know you don't really want to talk about that, so I won't say too much. Other than it's really, really good. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm really liking to put it to like Cliff's note it aggressively, to put it in a nutshell. it feels like they have the perfect balance of keeping to the Pokemon formula and trying new things. So it feels like a more unique experience, and it has probably the best story of any Pokemon game so far. Not that Pokemon is really known for their stories, but it's nice to see them putting in some effort.
Yep. All right.
So yeah, I'll just leave it at that because I know that you really don't care about Pokemon.
I straight up yawned.
I know. I could hear it.
I tried to keep it relatively quiet, but oxygen.
Yeah, there was one other thing, but last thing I promise. Then we can go into movies.
Okay, last thing.
Last thing is when this goes up, it'll be the 1st of December, and that's also the release date of the new Hearthstone expansion.
Oh yeah, and Corey's pretty hyped for that. As well as it'll be the next continuation of Vox Machina on Geek and Sundry. If you're watching this in time, please go check them out.
Yeah, Critical Role. This will be up in like the morning or early afternoon, so it'll be if you're listening to this right now, which I doubt you are, but if you are, that's a weird thing to say. Like if you're listening to it right now, then of course you're listening to it right now. If anyone is listening right now and hasn't seen Critical Role on Geek and Sundry, go check it out. It's like starts at 7 or 6. I always forget.
I think 7.
Yeah, it's 7 because our group starts at 6. That's how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts at 7 for me. It starts at 6 for you because you're Pacific. But if you don't want to jump into the middle of the story, they have a huge playlist on the Geek and Sundry channel on YouTube. You can find it right there. Critical Role. You're gonna start right there. I know it's gonna seem a little bit weird because they're just gonna kind of kick you off, and you're gonna have to like catch up with how all these characters work. You're gonna come in like kind of in the middle of the story because I think when they all start off, they're all like level 10 or so, like 9 or 10.
Yeah, they're all around level 10-ish, and they've been playing the game they're playing the game Pathfinder for 2 years, and they converted the characters to 5th edition to start Critical Role live show. Yeah,
which was cool.
Yeah, so it kind of starts. It starts in the middle of like them being know each other, but at the same time, they still give you like character backgrounds and like as a little intro sequence, and they also.
And I absolutely love that so much. By the way, like I cannot stress this enough how much it is that I love that at the beginning of Critical Role, they roll this little intro of each of the characters telling you their backstory. Is beautiful.
Yeah, so it gives you a sense of who they are, and then it's a pretty good starting point because they basically explain like how they basically been sent on this new mission. So it's the start of a new mission. Like they get to the Dwarven Sea of Craghammer, and all kinds of stuff ensues. It's a really great show. It'll take a long time to catch up because they're getting close to episode 80 at this point, and each episode's like 3 to 5 hours long because they're streams.
Yeah.
But it's a really good show. It'll be well worth your time, trust me.
Yeah, especially if you are a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, you can kind of see how it is that they play, and you'll probably pick up on a few of Matt Mercer's house rules. Like even myself, like I'm relatively new to DMing, and I make my own house, and I've made my own house rules specifically. Like Corey's aware of this when it comes to armor class. I personally believe that something needs to exceed the number of armor class in order to hit. And that's just my personal beliefs, and I haven't heard too much of a complaint.
Yeah.
And all the ones that I have heard, I've ignored. So.
Exactly. But yeah, if you watch like the first episode, you're not really sure yet. At least give it to like at least finish the first arc. Like I think it's episode 12 or 14, somewhere in there is where they finish the whole Underdark arc.
Yeah.
And that'll give you just quite the experience. Like just the finale of that arc is insane.
Yeah, it's great. Like a lot of hype.
Yeah, like for me, I enjoyed the show, but I didn't have a lot of time to watch, so I tried to watch what I could. But once I finished that arc, I was like, I'm in.
And if you need any more of a hook, these are a bunch of voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons. You have things like Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham, Liam O'Brien, Orion. I can never remember his last name.
Orion Akaba.
Thank you.
Sam Riegel.
Marisha Ray, and she recently, and if you've ever seen Blind Spot, one of those two.
Yeah, Blind Spot.
Yeah, Blind Spot. It's there's Ashley Williams. No.
Ashley Johnson.
Thank you.
Williams is Mass Effect. Johnson is the real person.
Ashley Williams. No.
That was correct. Like you caught it as soon as you said just Ashley Williams. No. Yeah, but you also don't want to forget Taliesin Jaffe.
Oh,
is that how you pronounce the last name?
I always pronounce it Jaffa, like a Jaffa cake.
Yeah. It's like Jaffa or Jaffe. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong, but
yeah, Taliesin, he's an amazing player. He's a great voice. He's a great voice actor. He's a great actor. Personally, I think he's super great, and you can actually see like despite the fact that Talison's such a great actor, his body betrays his character being calm.
Yeah.
You can see him like his character Percival will say something like really cool and really badass, and it looks really great. And then when the dungeon master Matt Mercer says to roll, he's shaking like a motherfucker.
Yeah. I noticed that he shakes when he goes for rolls, when he's like holding his hands up.
Yeah.
But also, I noticed that there have been a couple times. I don't know if you got this far or not. There have been a couple times where his character actually is shown to put on a front. Like he confronts a really dangerous potential like frenemy / ally. So,
Yeah.
Someone who could very well betray them, but they have to work together for the time being. And he confronts him saying, being really intense and saying like, we're watching you. If you won't get away with betrayal, all that stuff. Then as soon as he rounds the corner, immediately just vomits.
It's great.
Yeah, it's really nice to see them when they like play to their character, even if it means that it's gonna give them the harder time.
Or it's gonna give them like a moment of weakness, which is really, really great.
Like there's one fight where, sorry, this is the last thing, but there's one fight they had where I think you remember it was when they did the Trials of the Take and they had to split the party.
Yeah.
And they were fighting like those. Percy's group was fighting direwolves in the middle of the night, and Percy like played it up saying that he was still in his pajamas with the butt flap and everything.
Yeah.
But then he realized that affected his armor class because he wasn't wearing his armor.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm going with it. I said I was wearing pajamas, so I'm going to stick with that. So he had to do the whole fight with just as dexterity as his armor class, like 10 plus dexterity. I think it's the default if you're not wearing armor. Or is it 8 plus dexterity? I don't know.
It's 10 plus.
Yeah.
Excuse me. 8 plus is for your spell attack modifier. Or your spell save GC, sorry.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Anyways, so, yeah, well, as much as I wanted to talk about video game movies, it looks like we're out of time.
We've gone for a little over 40 minutes. We've gone for an hour before. So if you want to, we can talk about it a little bit. Because I know you've been wanting to talk about Batman v Superman.
Yeah, Batman v Superman, I absolutely hate it. I think it's an absolute piece of shit. I posted about it on my Facebook, and I compared it to Star Wars and how it was that I liked it better than Star Wars, and then people had a shitstorm. And by that I mean 3 people had, where it like respectfully disagreed with me.
Yeah, that's an interesting description for that.
It's a shitstorm. 3 people respectfully disagreeing with me. Yeah. That's the social justice warrior terminology for a shitstorm. I put my opinion out there, and someone disagreed with me, and I felt raped. Okay, you can feel that all you want.
Doesn't mean it happened.
Yeah. Anyways, but
it's like, how do you say that you feel raped when? I mean, I understand. I don't know. It's
like the woman who felt violated from Pokemon Go because she woke up and there was a Charmander right there, and she's like, I felt violated. I was like, you have to turn on the app. You have to be looking through your phone, which means that you were playing it, which means that this is all you.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
I hate people. I hate people sometimes. I really do. I think it's absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
But Batman v Superman was absolutely crap. I'm really hoping for Justice League. I really hope that comes in. What I'm really hoping is that Justice League and Avengers can kind of be like a good rivalry kind of thing going on.
It feels like most of the Marvel superhero movies, for the most part, have been either amazing or they've just been okay.
Yeah.
Whereas DC's been extremely hit or miss. Like the Dark Knight trilogy was great. Batman v Superman was terrible.
Suicide Squad,
I haven't seen it yet, so I still don't know.
Yeah.
But I heard that mainly that Jared Leto, who played the Joker, was complaining that a lot of his scenes got cut, and that basically I think a big reason why it ended up not doing so as well as it could have done is because studio executives saw the success of Guardians of the Galaxy and it's like, oh, let's do something like that.
Yeah.
So they changed the direction of it entirely, like mid-shooting, and they tried to like reshoot it and re-edit it so it's more.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Speaking of which, new Guardians of the Galaxy coming out soon.
Yeah, Volume 2. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, that looks really hype.
I like how they called it like Volume 2 as well instead of like the sequel or.
Yeah, which I hope it gets like a proper title and whatnot. I
kind of like it just to be called Volume 2. I don't know why.
What I really hope is that eventually everything comes together, and like we just have a whole Marvel movie showdown of like everyone versus like Thanatos or something.
Yeah, like, it feels like they're going that direction, like the Avengers and the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, eventually all coming together to face off against Thanatos with all the Infinity Stones.
Can you imagine Deadpool hanging out with Black Widow?
He would have several broken pelvises.
Oh my god, it's great.
That's okay. I'll try in an hour when that heals. Or I'll try again in an hour when that heals.
It'd be great. Not to mention, there's been things like Deadpool versus Wolverine, or like it's been like Wolverine versus the Hulk, and like Deadpool's caught in the middle.
Yeah.
Like there's that one anime thing where it's like where Deadpool and Wolverine are both running away from the Hulk, who is like 2 feet behind them. He's destroying everything behind them in this compound. This loud noise, you can hear him just, and Deadpool turns to Wolverine and goes, "Logan, I think we lost him."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love you.
Or the whole thing when they have like Wolverine like tied up and he's just like talking to him like he's an old friend. He's like Logan, my man, it's been so lonely with you out here. Nobody calls me Bub anymore.
And Omega Red's a bedwetter. And then as he said, Omega Red shows up. He's like, I will rip your tongue from your sniveling head, Wilson. And he's just like, he's very ashamed about it.
Yeah. Put a lot of time and money into you and voidy things.
I shot him in the ass with one of these. What I did.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, more recently, because Batman v Superman came out a few months ago, I think, didn't it? You just got to see it.
I don't know. I think it was like a year ago, maybe.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I don't really plan on seeing it. But in other news, this month, Doctor Strange came out, and that was really good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. Don't you dare fucking say shit.
I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil it for you, but it is really good.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of Doctor Strange ever since I saw him in Ultimate Marvel, and then I did some research into him. I was like, what does he do? And I was just like, oh.
Yeah, just keep in mind that me saying that I love it comes from someone who doesn't know anything about Doctor Strange, so maybe they completely change his character and it'll ruin it for fans of the character. Or maybe it was spot on, I just don't know about his character.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
I just really liked it.
I mean, I think Suicide Squad was pretty successful, thinking about it. I mean, like you had 21 Pilots backing them up with their song Heathens. That was specifically for the soundtrack, and that was like on the radio all the time, just hyping up Suicide Squad. I was seeing posters about it everywhere.
Yeah.
You can actually look up, like, as the movie was coming out, more and more copies of the Suicide Squad comic books were being sold in some of the movies and stuff like that.
I heard what I heard about Suicide Squad, and I still haven't seen it, so I can't speak for it myself. Yeah. What I heard was that it wasn't bad. It was an okay movie. But it just felt like kind of it felt like a little bit of a mess with not a whole lot of direction, which I think is mainly because of that change in that the studio saying, hey, let's make it more like Guardians of the Galaxy, like halfway through.
my dad saw it and he really liked it. It was really good for him, but he saw it at one of those times where like he just kind of really needed a distraction.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so Batman v Superman was really bad, and you know what the worst thing about that teaser trailer for Justice League? In case you guys haven't seen it, there is a teaser trailer out there for Justice League.
I haven't seen it.
They show Aquaman in the teaser trailer, and I have never been so hyped for Aquaman. Like, he looks awesome, and like I'm not talking about like the Justice Friends Aquaman, the one whose special ability was a jet ski. Like this is an Aquaman who looks like he owns 70% of the planet. Yeah. Because I remember, like, before, for me at least, it was before Injustice came out, Injustice Gods Among Us. Yeah. Aquaman was kind of a joke superhero from everything I'd seen. And then you see him in that game, and it's like, wow, he looks awesome in this game. Mm-hmm. He'll play with his trident and then feed you to his shark. Yeah, and and he commands the oceans. For fuck's sake. So I'm glad to see, like, the ocean. Like, let that sink in. He commands everything that lives in the ocean. He can throw a fuck ton of urchins at you. Yeah. He'll throw you like he commands box jellyfish, one of the most dangerous sea creatures in the world. That's terrifying. Yeah, when you think about it, his powers should be really terrifying when he can command any of the sea life. And the worst part so it's nice to see that he's actually become more impressive. The worst part about it is that he's amphibious. He's not limited to just the water. He can walk on land. Yeah. And he can take that shit with him. Imagine if he went to an aquarium. Yeah. Have fun. It's terrifying. Absolutely. I wonder what Aquaman. I wonder how Aquaman feels about aquariums. Like, do you think he's like these animals should be let loose into the wild, and then when like someone explains to him like you know how animals kept in captivity for long amounts of times, they can't function in the wild. It's like well, then they would die. It's like well, then they would die, and then I think Aquaman would probably be like well, that is the way that it's supposed to be.
I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
I don't know about him.
Aquaman's an interesting character and whatnot, and he does have some pretty cool and badass moments in the Justice League Unlimited series. I think he was in there. Yeah, Justice League Unlimited. He has some really cool scenes in there. Aquaman, he's pretty awesome. Yeah. But like I thought Aquaman, I'm super hyped for Justice League just for Aquaman. And not to mention, like, when I was watching Batman v Superman, like, if you've seen the Nostalgia Critic review of it, where it's like also Wonder Woman's here, and then Wonder Woman's like, hello, like just walks by. That, like, I've never seen a more appropriate, like, like metaphor for how Wonder Woman was treated in that movie. Every now and then, you would just see her. You just be like, oh, it's Wonder Woman. Okay, bye.
Yeah, it's like I get the feeling that they put her in there just so that they could. Because I remember the trailer that revealed Wonder Woman was in there. It was a pretty hyped trailer.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe she was put in there just for the trailer.
I don't know. Like she was pretty hype, and she actually did something useful at, during the final battle against Doomsday, which probably Doomsday's in here, and Doomsday looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that in the trailers.
Yeah, Doomsday looks really good. He looks really cool, except for the fact of how the hell he happened.
Why? I have feeling Lex Luthor has something to do with it, but
yes,
we're on trailers.
I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you this, how it happened.
Okay, so spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Batman v Superman and doesn't want spoiled. Here we go.
Yeah. So, you've seen Man of Steel, yes?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, in Man of Steel, I believe it's Man of Steel.
That sounds right.
In that one, Superman ends up fighting General Zod. Okay. And that's the one where Zod dies in the end, but he ends up winning. That was the idea, but behind the ending, and it was really cool, really cool to watch.
I remember Zod was really cool in Injustice.
Yeah, he kneel before me. Anyways, but so in Batman v Superman, Zod's spaceship and Zod's body is still there. I guess Kryptonian bodies don't decay very quickly. That being said, Lex Luthor ends up going into the Zod spaceship, going into some kind of like birthing chamber kind of thing, and combines Zod's DNA with his own DNA to create Doomsday.
And that's not how it happened in the comics.
And I'm like, do you want? So for those of you who haven't seen Doomsday versus Hulk in terms of the death battle thing, which probably if you haven't seen Death Battle, it's fantastic.
Okay, I need to see that too. I haven't seen that battle yet.
Yeah, it's explained. It's explained how it happens, but to give you the aggressive nutshell version, Doomsday was a baby, and he was thrown out into primordial Krypton with a bunch of dinosaurs and shit like that out there, and it was almost impossible to live out there. He was thrown out there. He died. His goop got scooped up, recloned, thrown back out there. Just repeat until basically he got a crash course in evolution, and then eventually Doomsday became what he is. And now because of him constantly dying and being reborn and all this stuff, and until eventually he survived out there in the harshest environment known to the universe, which is primordial Krypton. What happens is that if Doomsday ever dies, like if he's killed by like for instance, there's a moment where Superman highly focuses his heat vision and just kind of drills through Doomsday's brow and right into his brain and kills him like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doomsday comes back, and then Superman tries it again, but his forehead has been so reinforced, his laser eyes aren't getting through it.
So every time he dies, he reinforces whatever killed him.
Yeah, and he actually explains that you can't kill him the same way twice. And Doomsday has been just like, that's cool.
Yeah, it reminds you of the.
I was like, he is a terrifying supervillain. Like he's been suffocated, he's been drowned, and he was killed in the vacuum of space. Because of this, he doesn't need lungs. He doesn't need oxygen.
Yeah, but it reminds me of in Batman Arkham City, the fight with Mr. Freeze.
Yeah,
I love that fight because it was a boss that showed intelligence every time.
I think this is the third time you brought up Mr. Freeze in a podcast, but go on.
Okay, maybe I have brought it up before. I just You remind me of it, and I just love that fight.
Yeah, it's a good fight. Like how you have
It's
to.
like I can't go against him full frontal attack because his weapons and his armor is too powerful, so I have to sneak up on him. So okay, let's use the floor grades to jump on him, beat him up, and then he throws you off and reactivates his suit, and then it's like that won't work again as he like freezes all the grates. So okay, now I gotta try a different technique.
And then you come at him from the ceiling, of which case he makes the air too cold for you to glide, or something like that.
Yeah, he has a way to counter everything that you do.
Yeah, but the reason why he loses that is because he's reacting to you. He's not taking the initiative into the precautions. You know?
Yeah, because eventually you just beat him down enough so that he has to give in, and then.
Yeah. Anyway.
I was thinking of Batman because my brother's finally playing through Arkham City, and he just got done with the Ra's al Ghul fight. That was a really cool fight.
The one where you're tripping balls.
Yeah, the one where you're like fighting like a giant sand version of him.
Good times. Anyways, but
that game had good boss fights.
Also, I want to talk about the movie Warcraft. I did not get to see it in theaters. I got to see it on a very tiny screen at a video game store because we were bored.
Yeah.
And from what I saw, it was pretty cool. I liked it. This coming from someone who actually knows a fair amount of the Warcraft lore. I don't proclaim to know everything, but I did take a few crash courses in terms of like I remember when the Lich King was coming out, the expansion for World of Warcraft, and I was like, what the fuck is the Lich King? And I looked into it, and I was just like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, my experience, my knowledge of Warcraft is I played a lot of Hearthstone, and I played a few hours of World of Warcraft to get the Paladin here of Hearthstone. Yeah. And I was able to enjoy the movie a lot, even though I didn't know everything that was going on. I had a sense of like certain characters and what the world was like and all that.
Yeah. It's not bad, and I really hope that Warcraft gets like a sequel because it seemed like it like they left on like a sequel kind of situation, which I thought was gonna be pretty hype.
I liked all the little nods they had in there for fans. Like there's a night scene where they're crossing a bridge and you're like a Murloc just going, whoa, but it's the exact same sound they use in the games. Like it's not even a new Murloc sound.
Yeah, just.
Or use the polymorph spell.
And you get to see like you get to see like baby Thrall.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, so cute. And I remember while I was watching it, I was just like I was explaining to one of the guys who I was playing with who like he had never played World of Warcraft. I was like Thrall is basically Orc Jesus.
Or Orc Moses.
Orc Jesus / Moses. And he's just like, he's like, how do you mean? And then we get to the end of the video. I was his mother is running away from the rest of the horde, like holding him in like a little basket.
Yeah.
And she sends the basket down river. I was like, that's how Orc Moses he is.
Yeah. Because I mean, you didn't grow up on Bible stories, obviously. So do you know do you actually know what the name Moses means?
I believe it means one who is allergic to chocolate.
No.
Well, then what is it?
It literally means something along the lines of carried by the river or found by the river.
That was my next guess.
Because like he grew up as Moses because that's what the woman that found him, the Egyptian woman who found him and raised him, after he was let go by his Hebrew mother, called him that because that's she found him by the river, so Moses.
That's like it reminds me of that one thing where it's this Indian father and son, and he goes, Dad, is it true that Indians, whenever they're born, they're just called whatever the father sees across the river? And he goes, no. Why do you ask? Two bears fucking.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, it's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's neat.
And I'm just reminded of Brad Stein talked about he did a joke about like his whole thing about smoking, and he's talking about how like and again this isn't like historically backed up or anything, but he talks about how like the cigarette was like a prank for it must have been like a prank for the Indians or for the Native Americans. Mm-hmm. And I just remember him describing it as the whoopee cushion of the Cherokee. And it's like, that's a funny way of putting it. It's like Kemosabe, inhale this into your lungs. Why? It's smooth. It's like kind of like stifling laugh. And it's like, yeah. It's like I would have gone even farther. Yeah, if you lick the red hot end, all your wishes will come true.
That's great.
Anyway, so yeah, we're going for over an hour now, so we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah. So.
Any last things you want to say?
So long and prosper. I don't know.
Comb your teeth, brush your hair.
drink your teeth, brush your milk.
That's the one.
And stay in drugs and don't do school. But there's this. I'm really hoping that the new Star Wars movie coming out, like the Rogue Squadron thing, I think that's gonna be pretty cool. The Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One. Yeah. What's cool is that it's it's not part of the main trilogy. It's like a side story. So I feel like they have multiple. They have like a team working on this, and they also have a team working on Episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be like they'll have all these like side stories coming out every other year. But we're waiting for the main stories of Star Wars. But that means they can explore other aspects of the universe and not have to worry about sticking to the the main plot. Because I know that Rogue One is going to be its own story. Because I'm pretty sure in one of the trailers I saw Darth Vader. So I think it takes place at a very different time in the timeline. It's not around Episode 7.
Anyways, so I think this should just about do it, and I need to go play some Bloodborne because that game is still amazing no matter how many times I play it.
Yeah, I know some games like that.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I think that's you with like Paper Mario, isn't it?
Paper Mario is always a game I come back to every once in a while. Mass Effect's another one. Like I tend to play about once a year. Like I'll play the entire. Like last year on January, I started Mass Effect 1 and kind of slowly took my time, playing an hour or two every night through the entire trilogy. Finished up and like that was great. And then I put it aside for now, and then now I'm just like wanting to play again. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna hold off because it's almost winter break for college, and I'm gonna be home for 3 weeks. So I'm gonna hold off, and I'm gonna start in January. Start another character.
Anyways,
it's fun. So yeah, thank you all for listening to us ramble. I'm Solanima.
My name is Zathos.
And we will see you all next time.
See ya.
Merry Christmas!
Fuck you.